So you're more than welcome to go grab the graphic and use it. It doesn't have my name on it or anything, so you can just grab it and use it. I posted it 10 minutes ago. I think I've had 12 people respond. So I think it's going to be a popular one. It might be a ginormous group, which is totally fine because there's no interaction, so it's not going to be complicated or anything. So why don't we talk about that first? Let's talk about the Crock-Pot group first. I invited Amy. Well, Amy's always invited, but I invited Amy because I wanted her to be in on this Crock-Pot discussion because I think the way we're going to do it is Kimberly, Amy, and myself are kind of going to be the posters. And so we'll do that, but I wanted her to be in on the conversation. And then any coaches that you have, I think you guys are all in the group already. Any coaches that you have that you want to add to the group so they can add people, you're more than welcome to. And anybody can join the group, whether, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can be not, like I had 3 people today that I'm not even friends with. I don't know how they found the group. I think some of them live in North Carolina, Amy, so I'm thinking they might be somehow related to you. So so I just let them, of course, join the group. But, it doesn't matter. And even friends, like when you add people to the group, they can actually add people to the group too, and that's fine. I'm not putting any restrictions on that. I might put a restriction if it gets over 50 people. I might put a restriction on that if you post to the group, it has to go to the admin first. Because if the 3 of us are posting once a day and 2 other people post in there, it's going to get annoying. Even just 2. 5 posts a day is a lot. I think what I'm going to do is restrict the posting to the comments, and we can say that at the very beginning. That you're more than welcome to comment, but you can't post. I won't even say that. If you have a comment or a question, please put it in the comment section of each post. And then that'll keep the traffic down to a minimum there. So I think it's going to be a good group. So I wanted Amy and Kimberly to be able to talk about what they were planning or thinking about planning on doing. I posted, well, Kimberly's seen it. Amy's seen the recipes that we're using because they were in that thread. It was kind of funny. I'll explain it just really quick, but it was Kimberly's idea. And then I said, okay, we need some content. I'll go throw it up in the Diamonds group because I'm pretty sure that at least somebody in there's done it. I thought it was Amy, but I couldn't remember who had done it. So I put it up in there thinking, somebody will give me some content. And there was like 25 comments. It just went on and on. Everybody was so excited about the darn thing. And so it kind of took on a life of its own a little bit. And so I had people, I said, okay, fine. Then you post a recipe in the comments and I'll use them, put them together, make a Word document, and you guys all have a clean eating Crock-Pot group. It's already done, okay? So that's what we did. But I was thinking for our group that Amy and Kimberly could post stuff too, and it doesn't matter what it is, but I thought you guys can kind of give a thought about what you want to post. I'm going to post early in the morning, like between 5 and 6 o'clock my time, just because it's the only time that I'm at my computer consistently every single day, or at night. I could do it at night, but then the recipe would be lost. I'd rather do the recipe early in the morning. So I was thinking that one of you could do a midday post and one of you guys could do an evening post or a nighttime, whatever.
Sure.
Y'all complain about that.
Ella, there is no Heath left.
No, my girls are fighting over Heath ice cream because that's on the 21-day fix.
This 21-day fix approved. Woohoo!
I'll go ahead and mute myself.
Okay. But anyway, so I don't know, Amy, what were you thinking you were wanting to post?
I can post either in, like after lunch or around lunchtime, or I can post in the evening. But my evening's a little bit earlier than your evening because I'm like ready for bed now.
Right.
And so I would post probably about 8 or 9 my time. So I don't know if that will be too early for your peeps.
No, I mean, since we're not going live or anything in the group, it's just posting. They can catch up with it whenever the heck they want to. I'm just thinking.
So it doesn't matter. Either one is fine with me.
Okay. Because I know Kimberly's you're not at home midday, right?
What?
Kimberly, you're not at home midday, so that might be a tough time for you. So evening might be better for you. And then Amy can
Okay.
do midday.
Yeah.
And what sort of content were you thinking of, Amy?
I was just going to put some clean eating tips.
Perfect. Love it. Awesome. And Kimberly, what were you thinking?
I still need to look through the document you've sent, but I was kind of trying to focus on family friendly, I guess, or kid friendly kind of stuff. And one of the first things I would like to post is a recipe for a rotisserie style chicken that you do in your crock pot.
Nice. We don't have that in there, so that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that especially for 21 Day Fix, that's like a foundational thing that you need to have. You know, rotisserie chicken for those of us that eat meat is pretty huge. And, you know, even though you can buy those conventionally, there's so much extra salt and everything else added in that if you can do it yourself, which you can.
And I think it'd be good for you to put in there too when you post that, hey, this is a multi-night, you know, it could be used for lunch and different, you know, and I like that because that is a foundation of clean eating too, is preparation and just, you know, food prep basically, and having consistently having something around so that you're not, excuse me, grasping for crazy stuff when you're panicking. Because if you had a rotisserie chicken, you could just whip up a little something, right? So that's good. Okay, great. And I think, you know, I think we have 7 recipes that I'll post, and then I think you guys can post once a day, or if you forget a day, it's not a big deal. So, like, let's not stress out about it. But people...
Yeah, because typically, you know, one crock pot recipe is more than one meal. So
yeah, for sure.
They're really going to be getting even more value than 7 days.
They're basically going to get a month of meals. And maybe that first morning I'll go live in there and just say, hey guys, you know, here's how it's going to work, blah, blah, blah. You can comment here. Maybe I'll just do like a 2-minute, you know, 1-minute live thing and just say, hey, you guys are lucky. What?
1 minute, really? I don't believe you.
I know, it's hard to believe that I would do that, isn't it? But that we do a very short live video about how it's going to work, and that, hey, you know, realize that in these, you know, 10 or 12 recipes that we're giving you, you guys have a whole month of meals here, and it's all clean. Woohoo! See? Less than a minute. I can do it.
Voila.
Woohoo! So I was thinking Monday to Monday. I said the 12th, which is Monday, so I better do that because that's what I said. So Monday to Monday. So
I also think that avoiding anything that starts on September 11 is probably a good idea.
Good point. Good point. I agree with you. So good. All right. Very good. We can move on past that. I used to do 3 groups all the time, and I think that's actually how Kimberly and I first connected, believe it or not. And check her out. She's now like the rock star of the team RockOn and RockOn. Well, you're one of a few rock stars, so that's a big deal. And that's how I found Kimberly, was when that's not how I found her in high school, but how I refound her was through free groups. So the importance of free groups, I kind of slacked off on during summer. I don't think I did one free group in the summer, and I do think that it has absolutely affected my momentum. So I think these free groups are super important, and I think we as a team need to, and I seriously, sincerely thank Kimberly for going, hey guys, we got to do a free group. Hello, what are we doing? So I really thank you for doing that, because I totally lost track of that idea, forgot that we were supposed to be doing that. Hello. So I think we...
Top of the funnel, baby.
That's right, see? And I'm going to let you talk about that in a little bit. So I think that it's really important that we keep the free group train rolling. So I was thinking after this one, we're going to do the following week, we're going to do a coach sneak peek, which brings me to my next agenda item. That was Amy's idea, not mine. And I'm going to explain what a coach sneak peek is to Lois, because Lois doesn't know. So Lois, what a coach sneak, and Brittany probably knows, what a coach sneak peek is where we kind of give insight to people on what we do as coaches. And typically it's done over the course of about 3 days, but this one we're going to do over the course of 1 day because we've got this new sort of, I don't know, if you will, whatever you want to call it, this new venue of doing things with the live video. And so what we were going to do was do 5 live videos, short-ish, across the course of the day. Amy has the topics, just kind of explaining what Beachbody coaches do and what it's like to be a Beachbody coach. So Amy, I'm going to let you talk about the topics.
Okay, so these are just some that I threw out to Kim the other day, and I was going through, I used to do groups, like a coach sneak peek group, and it was like 5 days, and I did have some coach signups through it. So, but I was thinking that we did one, and I know that Kimberly, you guys did one for the health vet. And we did one, and I got several people to purchase through that, even though I didn't have a ton of interaction on the live videos. They still watched them. So that's why we were thinking posting live videos in the event. So I'll create an event, and then you invite whoever you want to it. And then throughout the day, I think we're going to do Wednesday.
That's right.
My calendar, the date of that.
So it would be
the 21st.
Yeah, Wednesday the 21st, 9/21 live coach sneak peek.
So you guys can let me know. Like, I think a lot of the reason people don't sign up is because they have some doubt. So I think of maybe somebody just kind of going over the vision. What is it called? The vision plan? No, the vision statement. Is that what it's called? Vision statement of Beachbody, and what actually a Beachbody coach is. Somebody going over against like an MLM compared to a pyramid scheme. Because I think that's a lot of people think, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. Somebody talking about maybe the 3 different types of coaches, because I think people just think you have to sign up as a coach and just run the business, like be a business builder. And talk about, you can be a hobby coach, you can be a discount coach, you can be a business builder. So the 3 different types of coaches. I was thinking like maybe a day in the life of a Beachbody coach, kind of what you do so they don't think, oh, I don't have time to do it anyway, because all of us are busy and we don't have 8 hours a day to just do Beachbody. So kind of just got somebody going over your day of like, when you dedicate your time to it, how much time that you dedicate roughly average during week. And then I was thinking there was one other one. I didn't write them down. But also it would be good for some. Oops.
Hey, Frank. Are you streaming video? Okay.
But anyway, those were my thoughts. But if you guys have something else, just message me, because I know that we all have different people that say different things of why they don't think it's a good fit for them.
I like it.
Those are my thoughts.
Those are good thoughts. I know Amy and I will both do a video. Anybody else want to do a video? Alive? I see a hand. It looks like Kimberly's. All right, so that's good. So we have 3. We have Amy, we have Kim, and we have KG. Okay, good. So we just need 2 more people to do videos, and we can work on that later. That's fine. We've got plenty of time. And then I think the next team call we have next week, you guys, I think we should brainstorm the next 2 free groups that we're going to do, because I think what's super important is to always have something to invite people to other than just a challenge group. Because Kimberly was talking to me today about that she's funneling. We talked about the funnel in the next level leadership. And we, there's a variety of different funnels. There's different methods to do it too. But Kimberly's been funneling, and I believe her funnel is working. But at the very, very top of the stinking funnel, well, not very top is become friends with people. But the next level in the funnel is free groups. We don't have free groups going on. We're missing a whole funnel level. So Kimberly, I wanted you to talk about your experience with your funneling and tell me how that's going.
I'm going to leave the group. I'm going to bed. I have a really early morning. But if you guys have any other topics that you guys want to discuss, just shoot me a message. And then, or if Kimberly, you're like, I want to talk on this, just tell me what you want to talk on. And okay.
Okay, we'll do.
Thank you. Awesome.
Brittany, you can stay on the call if you want to.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay on.
Good ideas.
I think I'm going to go to bed too.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Bye.
Good night, you guys.
All right. Miss Kimberly,
All right.
tell us about your funneling experience. And hold on, let me say this.
Can I ask before you do that, what is funneling?
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, wait, Kimberly, don't say anything. I want to tell Lois what we're talking about real quick. So Lois.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. We'll talk. You and I will talk more about this when we meet again.
Okay.
But so there's a process of getting people from not knowing them or not knowing much about them all the way down to they've purchased a challenge pack, they're now a customer, or they've become a coach. And there's a lot of steps in between there. And the funnel starts very wide, because the net has to be cast very wide in order to be able to, have people join, have coaches join. The net has to be pretty wide because the statistics, it's all a numbers game. So the more people that you're inviting at the very top of the funnel, the more people that are going to end up at the bottom of the funnel and actually fall through the funnel into the system. So Kimberly, we learned a lot about funnels. We had like 2 or 3 different funneling systems that we learned about at Summit, didn't we, guys? Nikki, too? I mean, we learned like 3 different systems and different points of the funnel. Like there's the basic one, which is getting somebody from I just met you on Facebook to coming to a challenge group. And then there's the funnel that starts all over again, from having customers in a challenge group to becoming discount coaches, to becoming working coaches, to becoming rock stars. So there's different funnels for different things. And but the thing is that they really, really work. So I'm going to let Kimberly talk about her experience with what she's been doing with her funnel system, because it's working really well for her. So yippee. So go for it, girlfriend.
Okay, well, yes and no. I'm not consistent like our fearless leader, Kim. But I was on Facebook this evening, and I was looking at, who was online on, Facebook Messenger, and just going, oh, gosh, I haven't talked to that person in a while. So, I mean, I have been adding people, some friends of friends, and some people that I probably should already be friends with that I've maybe been a little bit reluctant to do it for just petty, whatever silly reasons, like PTA type people. And I have 4 girls. I should be a little bit more pro at PTA, but I'm really not.
Your poor husband. 4 or 5 girls in the house.
Yeah, whatever. Lots of estrogen. So anyway, I was just noticing, some of the people on that were showing up on the right-hand side of my screen on Facebook as being online. And so I did my own kind of version of Hey Girl. So do you guys want to see some of what I've sent out? Because I could share my screen.
Please. I was telling Lois today about the Hey Girls. I was telling her, I said,
Yeah.
I said, if you Hey Girled somebody, they'd be like, who are you? Like, Lois doesn't talk like that. Like,
okay, so this gal, it really isn't very much of a Hey gal. She just lost her mom. And I mean, I don't really know her, and we weren't very good friends, but I still, anytime I see her online, I reach out and I say, hey, I just want you to know that I'm thinking about her. Because it was a pretty pretty painful thing. Are you guys seeing my screen? So this next person is actually a teacher. She's one of Catherine, my oldest teacher.
Oh.
And it looks like maybe she's also in Beachbody because she's at a club locally, and there was something about I don't know why this won't scroll down. There was something about country heat. I was very curious about that, and she has not exactly written back. But I had a decent kind of starting conversation with this gal that I met at grad school. And so I just say here, well, random hello, you never show up in my feed for some reason, but I see that you're online. So I'm just saying, hey, hope you're doing well. I'm crazy busy with the start of the semester and your nonsense. And then she immediately let me know that she sees my Beachbody stuff and that she does 21-day fix and she's down 10 pounds. And I don't know exactly what that means yet. And then we kind of continued a pretty decent conversation from there. And then I had a couple of other people. I can't seem to scroll down very well, but you know, even this one is kind of still a version of Hey Girl, because my phone likes to do these really weird things where it combines contacts that don't belong together. And so I kept getting this random text message from this Amber Archibald. Well, it turned out to be a good friend of mine who's a conductor. And all three of us are musicians, so that was just also kind of weird. And she hasn't replied yet, but I still consider that to be, you know, putting people in my funnel. So that might be a way to go, you know, not just the people that you're used to seeing, but, maybe I can move this so you can see, but so I was kind of scrolling through, not this one.
By the way,
huh?
This bombshell call was really good.
Yeah, I want to listen to it.
It was
for
good.
sure.
It's worth listening to.
But anyway, over here, this group of people here, you know, this is a current customer. This is probably not someone who would be a customer. This might be because he's an actor. And so it might be good to even just go through these people and just start conversations with some of them, especially if they don't typically show up in your feed, because that was the case for me. Is like a lot of the people that were showing up over there on that right hand side were people that I really don't see their posts. So I either just kind of went, hey, what's up? Or I went to their page and say, hey, I see that you've been doing this, that, and the other. Or, you know, even this one girl that I started a conversation with again, I was like, I can't believe that we have not talked or seen each other since 2008. That's unacceptable. And so now we've restarted a conversation.
Well, I really like the way that you're approaching the conversations, though. You've got a little connection to each person that you're throwing out there to begin with, and so there's actually something to talk about. You're not like, hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. You know, you're because then there's nothing really to talk about. You know, like I messaged somebody last night and I just said, hey, how's your son doing as a freshman in high school? That was it. You know, but just because she was same thing. She was online. It was one of those right-hand side things. And she read it right away and then didn't respond until today. And then we had this long conversation today about random other stuff. But the thing is that here's where my brain goes with that. Okay. Is that you're out there and you're putting yourself out there on a regular basis, whether it's with your workouts or your story about, you know, that you did Beachbody Classic and, you know, all your different things that you're doing that people, if they're paying attention, and most of them are, know that you're a Beachbody coach, okay? So when you start a conversation with them, at some point in time during the conversation, it's going to pop into their mind, she does that workout stuff. And it's either going to be the right time for them and they're going to go, I know, I've seen your Beachbody stuff and I know that you do 21-day fix and I'm really interested in that, or I'm doing it too. And you can say, and you know, your follow-up at some point in time would be, who's your coach? Do you have a coach? Right?
Yeah.
And you go there, eventually you'll go there with her.
Right. And I'm not worried about that right now. And so I feel for me, this takes a lot of pressure because it is just you putting a lot of people up in that point of contact and just, contacting them either through, meaningful contributions on their own posts, or, tagging them in a post or messaging them. And then you draw them towards those free groups, and then you start to target them more towards those challenge groups. And then eventually it may be that they can become a coach.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the other thing too is that there's so many steps in there, but the thing is that the more you interact with them, you're going to interact, by liking and commenting on their posts or whatever. So that you added them as a friend. Okay, that's the first part. Then the second part is you've liked and commented, and you're getting to know who they are and what they're about. And like yesterday, I was on there and I saw somebody talking about quitting smoking. I didn't know she was a smoker because I haven't seen her in years, and she lives in the Woodlands, and I'm not around her, so I don't know that she smokes, but she was talking about quitting smoking. And so now I know that she's, quitting smoking. And so, if I do decide to reach out to her, I can say, hey, how's that smoking quitting going? Like there's something to talk about. But as you get more and more down into the funnel, you're getting to know the people better. So, once they're in a free group, you really are kind of getting to know them a little bit better. Number one, hey, they're into this. Like they like the clean eating ideas. They like this, that, okay, I know that about them now. Or maybe you do a squat challenge or you do an ab challenge and they join that too. So now they're kind of interested in fitness too, and maybe they comment. So you start to get to know them better as that process continues, and then you're more comfortable, reaching out to them and saying, hey, we have an ongoing accountability group. I'd love for you to be a part. I'd love to tell you more about it. And so that funnel just keeps going down, and it gets better and better. So that's awesome. I'm excited and I love the fact that you use that right-hand side, who's on right now, to get people going, and keep them in the funnel, because we just want to keep them there. And maybe they'll be in there for a year before anything happens, but that's okay. Which, okay, we're getting down to the wire. So I think that that's the important part, is keeping them in the funnel, which brings me to the next thing. And I was going to try to do a live power hour tonight, but I don't think we're going to do that because we really don't have time now. And that's okay, because everything we've talked about has been really awesome. But the other thing that is important, and I know, and I'm mostly saying this for the people who aren't on the call who might listen to this later, is your list. So the funnel doesn't exist without your list. You have to have a list of people that you are talking to and what's going on with them. Otherwise, there's no point in this, because I've been a coach since 2014. So it's been 2 years, and I've been a diamond since June of 2014. So 2 years, okay, that I've been in the business and really working hard, about 2 years. And if I did not keep a list of all the people I've talked to, I'd have nobody to talk to, okay? Because I forget, because my brain, I've got too much going on, and I know Lois does, and I know Kimberly does, and I know Heather does, and I know Nikki has too much stuff going on that you're not like, oh, who did I talk to 6 months ago? There's no way you're going to remember that. So that list is so important for your business, and in order to keep people in your funnel. And we've talked about this before, and I know that Kimberly and I have kind of looked at systems. I know I've looked at systems with other coaches too. With Amy and I have actually investigated some systems. Tracy Adams and I have investigated some systems together, that you can automate this process. So there's, Streak, and there's Automatic CEO. That one I don't think works as well. And what's the other one called? Doesn't matter. Anyway, there's systems that you can pay for that automate your funnel, basically, and they tell you where you are in the process. And it's a little bit. Some of them are Streak. I think it's $12 a month. It's not expensive. I have investigated, I think Kimberly even investigated it more than I did. I just didn't have time to get it going. And I know that my success partners, Rob and Robin, use Streak. But they did use, we have a Beachbody coach within the refinery that is actually that's a virtual assistant. You've met her very briefly, Kimberly, and Nikki probably has too, but, and maybe Kelly Forrestal is her name. I know I think Heather met her too, very, very briefly, very quickly in one of the sessions. She walked by and we're like, oh my gosh, hi, and I didn't ever see her again. Love her to pieces. She is a virtual assistant. And so she can help, like if you ever decide to do it, what she is really good at is getting your list into Streak or into any of those systems. She's done it for Shay too. So I know that's how Rob and Robin did it. And they've been pretty happy with how it works. And haven't gotten overwhelmed with keeping up with it. So there's systems, if you're having trouble keeping track of it, there are systems in place. Lois, when you start your training, when you do your prerequisites for Coach Basics, you're going to see, it's called the Business Activity Tracker. And that Business Activity Tracker is the basis for my list. And I'm pretty sure Heather's recently started a list. She's not here, so I can brag on her, but maybe I will, but no, she's not here. It's not fair. So she's recently started her list, and I think that's where she started her list. What she started her list with, too, is Business Activity Tracker. You can turn it into an Excel spreadsheet, and, I mean, I've got like 700 people in that list now that I never have the excuse that I don't have somebody to talk to. And I know Lois, you were talking to me like you've got 4 different people you want to talk to this weekend. Those people need to go on a list. I know that they're your friends, and I know that you're going to see them all the time, but you still need to put them on the list, because at some point in time, this list is going to get unmanageable. Because I think Kimberly's has gotten unmanageable without having a list. Like there's no way that you could manage that in your brain or on a sticky note or something. So you'll start out with 4 and you'll be like, yay, I have 4. And then in 2 weeks, you'll have 25 and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't keep track of it. So start your list and be diligent about it and keep your list, because it is the premise of the funnel.
Well, the other thing that happens too is that, when you just get started, you have a couple of people that you kind of have targeted. And they may even talk like they're gonna sign up with you right away, and then they don't. And so it's when they start to kind of carry over from month to month that things start to get a little confusing. And wait, when was the last time we talked? And
what did we talk about?
What do we talk about? So you definitely want to have some way of tracking that, whether it's paper and pencil or you're using Streak, or which right now what I'm using is free. And then of course anyone who's invested in Team Z has been very happy with it from what I've heard, but that is essentially one Shakeology customer, and right now I can't afford that. So,
well, and then there's One Page CRM, that's the other one, but the feedback I've heard on that is that it's very overwhelming, the way that it if you don't pay attention to it, it backs up and you just get notification after notification after notification. So if you're a full-time Beachbody coach, it probably works great because you have time to deal with that. But when you're a working mom and you've got other stuff going on, that's unmanageable. So I think Streak probably works best if you're going to automate it. But yeah. So, well, good. I think next week we'll do other things, but I think we should talk about our next maybe 2 free groups after the Coach Sneak Peek. And Lois, the Coach Sneak Peek will be very good for you to be involved in terms of just being a listener in it. He's right here, Molly, because it'll give you an idea of all these different things and the objections that you'll hear from people when they go, I don't really want to be a coach because this. Well, we're going to kind of address those things in the Coach Sneak Peek and give people an opportunity to comment and ask questions by going live 5 times during that day. So there's 5 opportunities to do that. So
well, I like that it's an event too. This is what's good is that unlike just a general post that can kind of get hidden, is it will actually show up in your friends lists.
Yeah.
And you can add people. I'm kind of careful about that just because I get invited to someone's Lulu Rose or whatever, every day,
Same
and I
person.
really get annoyed at the same person all the time. I'm about to unfriend them, and so we don't want to be that. But I do think a judicious use of going ahead and inviting people to events can be good. And if you have people targeted that you think would do well with the business, I think it's great to put them in there, especially if you've already talked to them about it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. So, Lois, do you have any questions? We have like 2 more minutes.
No, I have a direction to go though with this list.
Good.
Outside of training, I'll start my list this weekend.
Awesome.
With that, what is it called? Business
Activity tracker.
automation tracker. Activity tracker. I can't read my own writing. Okay. So I'll look for that, and that's the direction I'm going to start. So when we get together next week, I'll have something started.
Yay. Awesome. Lois and I work together, Kimberly. We work together.
Oh, great.
We get to see each other, and we've been having lunch together the last couple 3 or 4 days. We've been having lunch together and talking about stuff.
Oh, that's good.
That's been good.
It's my jelly bean.
Hi, girlfriend. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.